My phone vibrated once against the linen tablecloth. A polite vibration, controlled, like a warning that didn't want to be noticed. My mother was mid-sentence, complaining about the reduction in truffle quality at this restaurant, when my father's fork paused halfway to his mouth. His eyes flicked, just once, toward my handbag. That was all. I didn't reach for the phone. I lifted my glass instead. Red wine, expensive, breathing. The notification echoed in my skull anyway. Unrecognized login detected. Zurich. I smiled, the practiced smile, the one I'd been trained to wear since childhood, at fundraisers, funerals, depositions. My parents smiled back. They thought they were winning. I watched my father dab his lips with a napkin, slow and precise, the same hands that had signed documents on my behalf for years. My mother reached for my wrist, squeezing lightly, affectionately. Ownership disguised as love. "You seem distracted," she said. I met her eyes. "I'm exactly where I need to be." Another vibration, initiating transfer. I sipped my wine, let it linger. The storm stayed behind my eyes. The trust fund had always been theirs in their minds, mine in name only. They'd told me it was for my protection, that the world was predatory, that I was too soft, too trusting, too emotional to manage wealth responsibly. Funny. The lies don't announce themselves. They accumulate, quiet, like dust in a locked room. I remembered being 16, overhearing a phone call my father didn't know I was listening to. "She doesn't need to know yet," he'd said. "It's safer if we control the timing." Timing of what? At dinner, my mother leaned closer, lowering her voice. "We might need to move some assets temporarily. Market instability, you understand." I nodded. Of course I did. What she didn't know, what neither of them knew, was that 6 months ago a junior analyst at the firm managing the trust had made a mistake. A small one, a mismatched timestamp, enough to unravel everything. They weren't protecting me, they were bleeding me. Shell accounts, phantom expenses, strategic loans that never returned. And the worst part? They had rehearsed this betrayal so many times it had become muscle memory. The realization didn't hurt. That scared me. I didn't confront them. I investigated. Quietly. I drank tea with my mother while memorizing her tells, the way she smoothed her ring when lying. I listened to my father lecture me about fiscal responsibility while tracking IP addresses on my tablet under the table. Late nights, encrypted emails, an offshore auditor who asked no questions and charged too much. I learned how long they'd been doing this. I learned who helped them. And I learned something else. They weren't just stealing. They were laundering, using my name, my trust, my future. So I did what I'd been taught to do best. I prepared. Every transfer was mirrored, every withdrawal tagged, every shell account mapped like a constellation only I could see. Then I added one final adjustment, a silent flag, federal, automatic, irreversible. No alarms, no flashing lights, just a door quietly opening somewhere far away. At dinner, my phone vibrated again. Transfer complete. My father exhaled. Relief. He raised his glass. To family. I clinked mine against his. To legacy. Dessert arrived. I didn't touch it. Instead, I placed my phone on the table, face up, unlocked. The screen showed a single line of text. Financial Crimes Division. Case file generated. My mother froze. My father's smile didn't fade at first. It cracked, like porcelain under pressure. "What is this?" he asked. I shrugged, a reflex. Silence pressed in around us, heavy, public, dangerous. "You reported us?" my mother whispered. I met her gaze, calm, detached, curious. "No, I automated the truth. My father stood too quickly. His chair scraped. People looked. "Fix this," he hissed. I leaned back. "It's already learning your patterns." My mother's eyes filled, not with remorse, with fear. For the first time in my life, they were looking at me without certainty, without control. I paid the bill. I always did. Outside, the night air felt clean, surgical. My parents followed me onto the sidewalk, voices low, frantic, breaking formation. "We can explain," my mother said. "I know," I replied. "I wrote the explanation." My father reached for my arm. I stepped away. "There's nothing you can do," he said. "You need us." I smiled. No, I needed closure. My phone buzzed one last time. Federal inquiry initiated. Assets frozen pending investigation. My mother collapsed onto a bench. My father stared at me like I was a stranger, which, finally, I was. "I didn't do this to hurt you," I said. "I did it so you'd stop touching what was never yours." I walked away while they were still breathing. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Betrayal isn't loud. It's procedural, papered, signed with familiar hands. They taught me control. They taught me patience. They taught me how to smile while something valuable was being taken. They just forgot one thing. I was watching, and now the trust fund was gone. So were my parents. What remained was something quieter, unmovable, untouchable. Me.